What are your actual chances for winning your medical malpractice case against a doctor who you believe caused you significant harm and injury? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. So now you believe that your doctor was careless and caused you significant harm and injury, and as a result, you decide to bring a lawsuit against him. Your attorney has gotten a medical expert to confirm that, number one, yes, there was carelessness, and that his carelessness was a cause of your injury, and that, yes, your injuries are significant and permanent. And your lawyer has gotten not just one, but two, or maybe even three different medical experts to confirm all three of those things. So now you proceed forward with your lawsuit. And now you're shocked, you're amazed, you can't even believe that the defense is actually denying that they did anything wrong. Then they turn around and say, hey, if we did something wrong, so did you, Mr. Patient. And then they turn around and say, you know what? If we did something wrong, whatever we did not cause or contribute to your injuries. And then to make matters even worse, they say, you know what? Your injuries really are not as bad as you claim them to be. Those are the typical defenses we see in these medical malpractice cases. So you know in your heart of hearts that you have a very strong case. Your attorney has told you that you have three solid experts, board-certified, qualified medical experts who have reviewed all of your records and have confirmed that you have a valid basis for a case. And obviously your attorney has confirmed that your injuries are in fact significant and permanent. So you proceed forward with the litigation. Your attorney tells you that the defense is not going to negotiate. He tells you that the defense refuses to settle this case. What does that mean? It means your case is going to trial. So 2 or 3 years down the road from the time you first start your lawsuit up until the time you get to trial will be about 2 to 3 years. Okay, so now let's go back to the title I raised in this video. What are the chances that you can actually win your medical malpractice case here in New York? You should know something very important, and nobody really talks about this. In order to win your case, you don't have to show with 100% certainty that what you are saying is true. You don't have to show with absolute certainty that the doctor who treated you, who you brought a lawsuit against, was careless and violated the basic standards of medical care. That's not the requirement. We don't have to show beyond a reasonable doubt that your doctor was careless. That's not how it works. That's not how any of it works. So what do you have to show the jury? You only have to show that you are slightly more likely right than wrong, that what you are claiming is true. That's all you have to show, which means that the jury doesn't have to sit there for days and days and weeks trying to make absolutely sure that what you are saying is true. They don't have to do that. And some of these jurors are actually shocked when they hear that. They're shocked that they don't have to sit there making absolutely sure that what you are claiming is true. Instead, we only have to show that you are slightly more likely right than wrong, just tipping the scales ever so slightly. And if we can do that, if we can show them through testimony and evidence that you are entitled to a verdict in your favor, guess what? Then even though you tip the scales just a little bit, then the jury is required to answer the question in your favor. And what questions are those? These are the jury questions that make up your actual verdict. So that at the end of the trial, the judge gives the jury instructions on the law and says you have to answer a series of questions. And the answers to those questions form the basis of your verdict. They actually are your verdict. So it's not simply a verdict of yes, you win or no, you don't. No, they have to answer the first question, which typically is, was the defendant negligent? Meaning, was the doctor whom you sued careless? Did he violate the basic standards of medical care? If the answer is no, your case is over and goes no further. If, however, the answer is yes, then the jury has to go to the second question. The second question the jury has to answer is whether or not the doctor's carelessness was a cause of your injury. We call that proximate cause. And the way that question is phrased is, was the defendant's negligence a proximate cause of your injury? That's a fancy way for saying, was the injury a result of the doctor's carelessness? And if they answer no, your case is over and you get nothing. If, however, the answer is yes, that means they've now answered two questions affirmatively. Yes. Yes, your doctor was careless. Yes, his carelessness was a cause of your injury. Well then, at that point, they will then go and answer a series of questions about how much money you are to receive for all of the harms and losses and damages that you incurred. So again, let's get back to the title that I raised in this video. What are the chances that you are likely to win your case your medical malpractice case here in New York. And you're not going to like the answer. The answer is, there's no way to tell. Absolutely none. You want to know why not? Because you could have the best case in the world. You could have the greatest medical experts in the world. And the jury could come back and give you 0. The jury could come back and find your doctor was not careless. And you might be thinking, how is that possible? You have all your experts lined up. You know you have a great case. You know there's no possible way you can lose. Well, guess what? There is. The jury might not believe you. They may not believe one of your medical experts. They may believe that one of your experts lied. And as a result of that, they decide you're not entitled to anything. And if that happens, guess what? You've now lost your case. So when I asked the question at the very beginning of this video, what is the likelihood? What are the chances that you can win your case? The reality is that you can have the best case in the world and still lose. You can have the worst case in the world and actually win. There is no statistical way for any attorney, I don't care how great they are, for any attorney to come back and tell you, I guarantee that you can get the following result. None. There's no way that any attorney could ever give you a percentage or the chances of you likely to win your case. And that's a shame, isn't it? Because here you are, you've now spent 2 or 3 years prosecuting this case, knowing the entire time that what this doctor did was harm you, was careless, was negligent, and now you are entitled to be compensated for that? Well, the problem is, when you go to trial and now a jury is going to decide, 6 members of the community have to come together to decide whether or not you are more likely right than wrong. You may win, and then again you may not. So why do I share this information with you? I share this information to open your eyes and to help you realize that even though you have a solid case, even though you know that your doctor did something wrong, when you go to a jury, anything can happen. And by the way, you should know that that's exactly why many cases actually get settled before they reach a jury verdict. It's because of that uncertainty. The defense is uncertain what type of verdict is going to come out. The plaintiff, the injured victim, is uncertain what type of result they're going to get. So now each side may recognize that risk. And in order to hedge their bet, in order to try and limit the risk and the exposure that may occur by going to a jury and facing the unknown, both parties may come together and say, you know what? How about we try and negotiate? And that is a possibility even though the defense has refused to negotiate throughout the entire litigation process. So, my question for you is, why do you need to know this? Well, in all likelihood, you do have questions or concerns about your own matter, and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit. Well, if you have not yet started a lawsuit and still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. Well, that's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.